There's something I want at the store. It's new and it's awesome and I want it so bad. If it could be mine, I'd be so cool. I think that I need it. Wait, let me think things through.
A need is something we require in our lives to survive.
Water, home, clothes, or a car to drive.
A want is something we would like to have but don't really need.
Toys, desserts, games, candy, and jewelry.
And once you're aware of wants and needs everywhere, you can jump up into the air and sing. I want, I need, I save my dough, I spend my money carefully. I want, I need, I make a plan. If I stick to it, I can do anything. It's tricky because wants can seem like needs, because your friends have it or look cool on TV. And as you grow up, your needs will too. But you'll be okay, cause here's what you do. I'll make a weekly budget, and if you don't know what that is,
It's a fancy word for money plan, that's what it is.
then I figure out how much money I'm gonna get.
List in total what I need to pay for, so I'm set.
Next I write my wants down and I don't mess around. When I save for something awesome, let's jump up and down and sing.
I want, I need, I save my dough, I spend my money carefully. I want, I need, I make a plan. If I stick to it, I can do anything. Don't buy things without thinking it through. Keeping a budget is good for you.
Good afternoon, first graders. So let's go ahead and dig on into our lesson for today. So we are going to be learning about bartering and trading, okay? So before we learn about those two new words, let's review our social studies concepts that we have learned throughout the month of April. Turn that off there. Okay, my first graders, let's go ahead and see. So, the first thing we learned about this month was our wants and our needs. And we learned that wants are things that are nice to have. We do not have to have them, they're just nice to get them and use them and have them. And we have our needs, which is our clothes, our home, water, food, and love from the people around us. We need these things to be a healthy have a healthy, wonderful life. So, first graders, let's keep going with the things that we learned this month. We learned about goods and services. We learned that goods are the things that we can touch and hold, like our pizza, our mail, our toys. We learned that services are the things that other people do for us, like the pizza man delivers the food, the baker makes our bread, the doctor sees us and take care of us, and our barbers or hairdresser does our hair. So those are services that are done by other people. And we also learned about our consumers and producers. We learned that we are the consumers. We get the goods, we get the services done for us. The producers are the people that are doing the things, making the goods, performing the services. We learned the baker is a producer, a doctor, the person, the gardener, and your teachers are all examples of producers. We give services or we make goods. We also learned last week about scarcity, and we learned that is when there is not enough of something. So we might have 10 cupcakes, but there might be 13 students. There's not enough cupcakes because it's only 10 cupcakes. It's not enough for all 13 students to have a cupcake. That is when we have a scarcity problem. It's not enough of something for everyone to get it. So then that led us to learn about choices, and that's a decision between two or more options, okay? So we make choices each and every day. You choose what you want to wear, you choose what you want to eat. Those are choices that we have to make, and sometimes we have to make choices during situations where items are scarce. Remember, we discussed going to the grocery store and seeing that the vegetables may cost more in the winter months because they're scarce. It's not a lot of those vegetables, so they raise up the price, and you have to make a choice. Do you buy that vegetable for more money, or do you wait for next time? That will make us have to pick and choose, make our decisions. Then on Tuesday, we learned about supply and demand. We learned that supply is how much of a good is available, and we learned that demand is how much people want something. So sometimes we have examples of high demand, like a brand new video game came out, but the supply is low. There's only 5 of those video games, but 100 people came to buy that game. So the demand is high. A lot of people want that game. They only have a little bit of it. So the demand is high, the supply is low. And also sometimes we learned that we can have where the demand is low and the supply is high. Remember, we used the example of all the extra candy after Easter we might see. So we have a lot of that old candy, so the supply is high. But people don't want that candy anymore because Easter's done. So the demand is low. So now, first graders, we're all done reviewing all the concepts we learned for this month in social studies. Let's go ahead and look at our new barter and trade, okay? So you're like, Miss Carla, what are these 2 new words? Well, let me tell you, first graders. So barter, this is when we talk about what we want to exchange. So we have our little cartoon characters over here. These guys, they're talking about wanting to exchange their orange and their apple. They did not do it. They only talked about it. So when you barter, you only talk about it. Now, when we trade something, that's when we actually give in exchange the items. So in our cartoon, we have a little girl with a cracker and a little boy with a cupcake. They are actually trading the items, okay? So when we trade, we change our items, and when we barter, we talk about it, okay? So that's the main big difference between the two. And now let's look at a few examples of bartering and trading. So Billy asks if he can trade one of his cookies for a bag of chips. He asked if he could trade it. So we know that this is an example of a barter because he asked. He did not just go and trade it. He asked. He talked about trading it. Now another example. Alex traded a Lego for a basketball. He actually did change items. So we know that this is an example of a trade. Now, one more example, first graders. We have Carl ask if he could trade. He asked if he could trade one of his cupcakes for a hot dog. Remember, he only talked about it. He didn't do it. He asked. So this is an example of a barter. Now let's go ahead. Oh, wait, I have one more example. So Sandra trades a basketball card for a box of crayons. So she actually traded. So we know that this is an example of a trade. Now, first graders, when we trade, we do the action. We exchange goods. So that little boy and that little girl, they're trading items. He's giving her the cupcake and she's giving him the cookie. They trade. And when we ask, we talk about what we will exchange. And that is an example of a barter. Remember, barters are when we ask and we discuss and we talk about something, maybe changing things. But a trade is when we actually exchange and give each other items. Sometimes friends trade toys. So you'll give your toy to your friend and they'll give you a toy in exchange. But remember, bartering is only when you talk about it. You don't actually do it, but you talk about it. So you may say, maybe I'll trade this with you, or you might ask, can I trade this with you? That's a barter whenever we talk about it. So those are our main differences between a barter, which we ask and we talk about, and a trade when we change the items. Now, my first grade friends, get ready for your class kick assignment. It's coming straight to your Chromebooks for you to complete. Once you're all done with that, you're done with your social studies. If I have already seen you, I will see you tomorrow. If I have not seen you, I'll see you in a little bit. Now, bye-bye, my first graders. Enjoy your day and make sure you finish up your social studies class kick. Bye-bye.